All right, well, the glass is in, and that was way easier than I expected it to be. I actually put one on my 260Z using the old glass at one point in time and broke that glass and had to buy some new glass. This one on the 280Z went way easier, so if you were wondering, that was pleasantly unexpected. So that was a nice surprise to have. The front windshield, I normally would recommend having 2 people to do, but you put it in the same way you do the rear hatch window. They make some tools to get that little, I just bought some 1/4-inch nylon rope from your local retail home improvement store, things like that. Buy the cheapest stuff you can. The nylon normal woven rope works good. It's like $3 to $5. I wouldn't spend any more money than that, especially on something you're only going to use once. They have a tool that's like $20-something. That's one of the instances where I think your money is better spent elsewhere. Not to say the tool is bad, but it's just not a good value. You're only going to be doing it on 2 windshields at most, unless you break one and then have to do it a 3rd time. But it's really not that difficult to take new weather stripping and put the nylon rope in the actual channel. And just remember that that rope is not there to, as you pull, to set the glass down in. It's only there to aid in assisting getting that rubber flap over the channel that it's supposed to sit in. So don't think you're supposed to pull it at a certain angle and then the windshield's just supposed to drop in. It's a lot easier to work it as you go. The weather stripping lube makes this job 10 times easier, and even the stainless trim, I showed you an easy way to put that on. So this stuff doesn't have to be difficult. If you're doing it by yourself, it's a little bit more difficult than doing it with help, but it still can be done either way. And hopefully you found this video useful. The major question is probably, why didn't I use the old glass on the front windshield? And it comes down to the age. And I've developed a rule of thumb to where if I'm going to remove the windshield at all to replace the weather stripping, because the weather stripping is dry rotted, cracked, or just, in overall deteriorating condition, then more than likely the windshield is too. Even if it's not cracked, chipped, or anything like that, most of the time it's going to have pitting. Pitting is anytime you're running into debris. You'll get it behind dump trucks and semi trucks, things like that. You'll get it when they spray salt on the road if you're living in the Great White North. Any kind of that debris, dust or sand or any kind of gravel that gets kicked up is gonna start chipping, just little bitty chips. It's like sandpaper. It's like sand getting blown on your windshield over the years. So more than likely, if your weather stripping is old enough to be replaced, your windshield is old enough to be replaced. And pitting is really one of those kind of nitpicky things, but it makes a huge difference if you're paying attention. When you leave your driveway in the early morning sun and you get that glare of sun in your face, if you have a pitted windshield, it basically just turns the whole thing frosty white and you can't see out of it. So that's kind of a safety thing. If you're contemplating on whether or not to put a new windshield in, I highly recommend putting a new windshield in. This windshield was less than $200. They still make them, and it's still to DOT standards and all that stuff. It has a little blue tint up top. Great little windshield. If you look on some of the Z websites on where to buy windshields, you're going to find that most of them won't ship, as one problem, and 2, if they do ship, it's probably more in shipping than this windshield actually costs. So my recommendation in that case would be to find a local automotive or commercial glass store and support your local small businesses that way. Call them, see if they can get it in stock. And I had this one shipped overnight, so they're relatively affordable and readily available. So if you're considering replacing the weather stripping in your front or rear windshields, replace the glass as well, especially in the front. I use the old glass in the rear hatch. I don't think that needs to be, kind of addressed. There's nothing really hitting it. The old glass I used and reused, especially if it doesn't have any cracks or major chips or anything like that, which it shouldn't because it's not on the front of the car and it's not driving head on into all of that debris and dust and sand and asphalt little pieces that are getting kicked up from the other traffic. So that's my rule of thumb. If the weather stripping needs to be replaced, or if I'm pulling the glass out to replace the weather stripping, then I replace the glass as well. So you come up with your own rules and do whatever you want to do. You can reuse the old glass if you want to, but if you're going this far in the stages of building things, what's another $200 on a multi-figure build? So that's my recommendation. If you found this video useful, go ahead and click that thumbs up button if you're not a current subscriber. become one today. It's still free of charge. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Turn on your bell notifications. That way you get notified just as soon as I get around to posting another video. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. I'll do my best to reply in a timely manner. I appreciate you guys as always, and until next time, thanks for watching this one. I almost forgot to explain what the stuff in the tube or cartridge was. The corners of this weather stripping do not fit very well. It's not no fault of the weather stripping itself or the car itself. It's just kind of one of those things. So what you want to do is use a window weld or some type of urethane window sealant and fill in those little voids to prevent leaks in the future. Even though it's brand new weather stripping, you don't want to run through the car wash the first time and then have water dripping on the interior. So that's something to pay close attention to. If you saw in the previous little time lapses and stuff, all I did was take some automotive yellow paint tape up the edges, and then I took the backside of a razor blade to get under and lift that weather stripping up to where I could stick one of the nylon tools in there, and the nylon tools link in the description below if you'd like to purchase your own on Amazon. So after you use the nylon tool to help lift up that weather stripping just a little bit more, you take the, what I used was 3M window weld, and then I insert it behind the weather stripping as far down in that channel as I can get it, only for about the first 3 or 4 inches on either side of all the corners, both the front windshield and the rear windshield. And then you just kind of work it as you're squeezing it in, make sure you get a good, nice, thick bead in there, and then just work your way around the weather stripping as it lays over place. It's going to squeeze out all the extra. And then you just take some 3M general purpose adhesive cleaner and get all the excess wiped up. Now I do use blue shop towels to help with the lint. If you're using regular blue shop towels, from say like Walmart or something, they have a lot of lint in them. So what I use for that purpose to get all the extra adhesive off that has spread out after I lay the weather stripping back down is I use those automotive blue lint-free towels that I showed you in previous videos during the paint and body challenge. I have links for all of that stuff in the description below if you'd like to get any of it. Once again, the channel does earn a small commission off those products that you choose to buy, or any other products that you end up buying once you get to the Amazon website using the links below. So if you have anything to purchase whatsoever, don't be afraid to click the link below. We earn pennies off that. It helps to keep the lights on and continue with projects like this. I appreciate all of that and all of you who've gone to the trouble to actually order stuff that you need. Once again, I never want you spending money you don't have to spend or aren't planning on spending. So I'm very budget conscious, and I expect you to do the same thing. Be financially, fiscally responsible, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So let's go ahead and finish this video up.